Hello. Today we're going to do Zekvir question mark difficulty on Frost Mage. I'll be using Frostfire spec without Death's Chill. Our one key to Zekvir is removing that poison debuff, which we can do with our barrier and taking the energized barrier talent, so that's our counter to his poison debuff snare. And of course we need to interrupt him for his heal. This mage is pretty decently geared at 635, so I should have plenty of health and stats for this encounter. Brann, we're going to run him as healer with Porcelain Arrowhead and Amorphous Relic.
And so, Zarath's ambition shall be my creed.
One thing that makes it much easier on this fight is to use a macro for the counter spell. Have it do act focus, right? So that way if you're working on web cocoon but he's casting the heal, you don't have to switch off and counter spell. You can just use your macro. Alright. So that said, let's give this a burn. This fight is not a DPS race, right? So Frost works pretty good because it doesn't need as much ramp up time as Arcane does, which you need to have a little bit of DPS in burst for the cocoons. So, alright, let's go. Alright, there's our first web tier. It's always good to pick up those healing potions and also to slightly stagger them since they have a heal over time. Alright, there's phase 2. You get a little bit of time for some free DPS. Not much. Looks like poor Brann has bought the farm a little bit. He will self-res a little bit. Hey, and done. So you can see a lot of that fight is just dodging out of the way of stuff and countering that heal and poison debuff. The change between phase 1 and 2, there'll be spikes that come up on the ground or one of his casts. You just need to keep moving out of the spikes. And then also he does his, in phase 1, he'll do his attack where he launches a cone in front of himself and then sucks you in. So if that catches you, it does a pretty fair amount of damage. But in phase 2, he summons those portals we saw all around us. Those, he'll do the suck, but it actually goes from portal to portal to portal. So when those portals come out, you just want to step outside of those, because if you're anywhere in between them, you'll get sucked in through and take a lot of damage. It's recoverable on that, but not ideal. There's the fight. I found of all the classes I play, Mage is probably one of the easier ones to get past this fight on. So if you have not done this challenge and you can play a Mage, I would suggest giving it a try. I played Arcane and Frost this season. I don't think I would like Arcane on this. Frost has a little more mobility, I think. You don't really need to be sitting parked for a lot of ramping. Maybe just get that glacial spike off. But otherwise, you've got some good mobility when you got Fingers of Frost up and Ice Lance. And you definitely need some mobility to keep moving out of stuff and still get the web cocoon down. Like I said, this is not a DPS race against Zekvir himself so much, because his health will go down as long as you're doing your interrupts on his heal. But those cocoons have a limited time, and that window is also affected by dodging things too. So being able to do a little bit of DPS while you're moving is pretty essential. Now, hopefully you enjoyed that little run through, and I'll catch you on the next run.